So what now for Conor McGregor? Watch this video. Hello, welcome to Me Edson. I hope you're all well. So you've just heard the news that Conor McGregor has been found, libel, guilty in his civil case in Ireland with the lady who accused him of sexual assault. And it was never taken to a criminal case because the police at the time said, we haven't got enough here for a criminal conviction. However, she's taken it upon herself, and I think it's been like a 6-year process, to go after Conor McGregor in a civil case to say, look, I want damages from you, and I want it to be aired in a court of law of what you've done to me. The court has found in her favour. Therefore, he has been accused of sexual assault, and she has got a legitimate claim against him. I think she's been awarded damages of, €250,000 or whatever it is. But this is in a very interesting case in that you may have already heard that there's a difference in a legal process. If it's a criminal case, then there has to be what they call beyond all reasonable doubt. There can be no doubt in the jury's eyes, in the court's eyes, that a person is guilty of a criminal offence. Now, if there's not enough evidence to substantiate that, regardless of what is surrounding the case, you can't bring it to a criminal trial. And even if it goes to a criminal trial, the chances are you're going to lose. However, in a civilian case, it's based on the balance of probabilities. In other words, in all likelihood, could this event have occurred? In a civil case, it's more about a civil action, a process of law, something that's more associated with contracts and negotiations and breaches of some kind of statute here and there. It's usually less about a situation that could also be interpreted in a criminal sense. It can be, of course it can. But in this case, this is why it's such a weird thing. Somebody like Conor McGregor could easily have ended up in a criminal court based upon what went on. But in this case, there wasn't enough evidence to support that process, so they went down the civilian route. But it still kind of sheds a light. Well, if he's guilty of that, then why isn't he guilty in a criminal sense? Now, he's fighting it, he's protesting it, whatever. Regardless, he's been found guilty or culpable or whatever the term is. So what next for Conor McGregor? Now, many people, myself included, will kind of just forget about Conor McGregor because he's never going to fight again. We don't, whatever happens, whether you like him or whether you don't like him, whether you like his kind of brash style, whether you don't. Many people don't, many people do. It's just the way it is. He's a polarizing figure, no doubt. But the fact of the matter is he hasn't been in the octagon for such a long time, and injury after injury and issue after issue and pulling out, and you're never really sure where you are with Conor McGregor in terms of his fighting career. He's got a couple more fights tied to the UFC, so he can't go and fight anything else. He can't do anything else. He's got to fight in the UFC if he's going to fight, or it's got to be sanctioned by the UFC. But what does this mean now for Conor McGregor? He's got this on his record, on his reputation. He has been found guilty in a court of law of this civil case that's gone against him, or whatever the term is, whether it's guilt or whether it's culpability, liability, whatever it is. But the fact of the matter is now, let's just say you are a business and you've got Conor McGregor as part of your business profile in terms of advertising. You're not going to want to associate yourself with somebody like that, or the chances are they're not going to want to associate themselves with that. So what does this mean for the future of Conor McGregor in the UFC? Well, you might get a pass there, I don't know. But it really depends, I suppose, what the advertisers and what the financiers and what the investors in the UFC, what they think of this whole Conor McGregor situation as well. Let alone what the fan base is going to think about him as well. You can imagine he come back to the octagon, let's say, if he ever gets a fight again, and what is going to be the reaction from the fan base. You could have a roar of cheers, or most likely you could have a roar of boos as well. It's just not going to be a good fit for Conor McGregor to get back into the octagon. Now, whether he was ever going to get in there, most people, myself included, I just stopped thinking about it. I just didn't care whether he came back or not, because it's just been so long, so much nonsense, so much water has passed beneath the bridge of this, of this Conor McGregor story that, you know, never seems to end and it never seems to materialize. So this could be the final nail in that coffin, that we're never going to see him in the octagon again. And many would say, well, good riddance to him. You know, if you're doing this, are you being caught guilty of this, then surely there's something going on in your private life that is just not right. And you hear so many stories of what goes on in his private life and the things that he's been accused of in the past and all the other things. And you think, you know, we're not dealing with a saint here, right? Now, you could argue, well, you can't be that kind of a person. You can't be a saint if you're a, you know, if you're a warrior in the octagon or a warrior in the boxing ring as well. But there is a difference. You can still be a civilian person. You still can be civil to people out of the ring and be a monster in the ring. You don't have to always be an arsehole out the ring either. Now, here's the case. I'm not saying whatever he's doing out of the ring is bad, because I just don't know those details. But I'm saying there's a lot of smoke there. And without smoke, there's no fire, as the old adage goes. But regardless of all that, regardless of this case, regardless of what else goes on in his private life, can he come back to fighting? Can he ever step back into the UFC octagon? Will they welcome him back? Will he have an opportunity to get into any other kind of fighting? You know, will he be released by the UFC? And they say, look, we're washing my hands off you. You're just more trouble than you're worth it. And actually, you're going to devalue our product now with this, you know, with this label, with this tag wrapped around your neck as well. It's not a good look for the UFC to bring him back in. So they may just wash their hands of him. They may rip up the contract, or they may just say, you know what, we're not going to let you fight with anybody else. Contractually, we're going to hold you to the UFC, but you're never going to fight again. So either way, he's screwed. Either way, he's not going to get back into the fight again. And either way, his future in fighting is, well, it's screwed. He's never going to fight again. Now, whether he could ever legitimately come back to fighting in a competitive sense, who knows? Now, this, you know, opens up the door to, you know, many people were saying, oh, well, Jake Paul could fight him again. Well, he can't. Unless he's under contract with the UFC, all that is ripped up. He can't do anything, let alone being tarred with all this, what's just gone on in this court case and everything else has gone on. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this opens up the floodgates to other things that come out of the woodwork as well. But as far as getting him fighting again, I can't see it. And in all fairness, I haven't been seeing this for well over a year and a half. You know, been waiting so long for Conor McGregor, and it just hasn't materialized. So for me, it's not that much of a shock that he's not coming back to the ring, because I was never expecting him to come back as well. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like what I do here, well, just keep on watching the videos, and I'll catch you again. Bye now.